Invincible.
Wipe away my tears, so sincere. Turn gray skies to blue. You won't ever change your ways, doing what you do. Well, you can keep on talking. You won't ever change your ways, doing what you do. Well, you can keep on talking, knowing they don't mean nothing, every single thing again. Well, I know it's wrong, you better walk it, 'cause this time I'm not joking. All that love is again. Well, I
Here we go.
sincere. Turn gray skies to blue. You won't ever change your ways, doing what you do. Well, you can keep on talking, no, they don't mean nothing, nothing. The same old thing again, well, I know it's fool. Best to walk it, 'cause this time I'm not joking. All that love is again. Well, I you would wipe away my tears, so sincere. Turn gray skies to blue. You won't ever change your ways, doing what you do. Well, you can keep on talking, no, they don't mean nothing, nothing. You won't ever change your ways, doing what you do. Well, you can keep on talking. You would wipe away my tears, so sincere, turn gray skies to blue. You won't ever change your ways, doing what you do. Well, you can keep on talking. You won't be on me. would wipe away my tears, so sincere. Turn gray skies to blue. You won't ever change your ways, doing what you do. Well, you can keep on talking, talking. No, I think I'll be nothing, nothing. You won't ever change your ways, doing what you do. Well, you can keep on talking, talking. No, I think I'll be nothing, nothing. wipe away my tears, so sincere. Turn gray skies to blue. You won't ever change your ways, doing what you do. Well, you can keep on talking, no one thing don't mean nothing, every single thing is getting. Well, I'm done fooling you, so walking, 'cause this time I'm not joking. I've had all this again. Well, I'm done fooling you. You would wipe away my tears, so sincere. Turn gray skies to blue. You won't ever change your ways, doing